Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Smuggler Chapter 4 stuff. So, in this episode, we're just going to be kind of talking about the backstory behind the character and, catching people up on the story with the Smuggler stuff because a lot of people didn't watch the first part of the series because it was bad, and let's be honest, it's gotten a lot better since then with the Star Wars series. So, we're going to kind of break this up into two parts, right? So, the first part will be me talking about this character, his backstory, what he's been up to this entire time, and then we'll also break it up so that way the next episode, tomorrow's episode, will be the actual first part of Makeb. So if you're not interested in hearing about what this character's been up to, what his actual story is, if you don't know, or what I plan to do kind of with the story going on with him, then just skip to tomorrow's episode. And no, that's okay. I understand you don't want to hear it. That's fine. But this episode is primarily going to be me just talking like on my ship. Plus, check this out. Boom! Oh, look at those. Oh, look at those weapons. Oh, that's cool. I really like those. It's just the little beams that kind of come out of it are just really cool to me. So, story thing. Exposition. It's a good word to use for this because that's exactly what it is. So, for any of you, let me back up actually. For any of you who don't know about this character, this was the first Star Wars series we did, at least this character, and his playthrough to 50 was technically the first one we ever did. But I think most people skipped over it because of the fact that it was it was bad. Yeah, I guess that's the only way to put it. It was live commentary, kind of like this is, and I was just leveling up, and that's a bad mix for an MMO, but we didn't figure that out until after that series was done, and that's fine, because it was a learning experience. However, I did conveniently finally go back and place all of the Smuggler episodes into a playlist for you guys, so if you do want to go back and watch that, go for it. And if you do want to go back and watch it, just turn off this video because I'm about to spoil the story at the end there, and you don't want to know that because it's going to be bad for you. But I'll give you a minute to do that while I kind of talk about the idea behind switching over to the new format that I've been using. So we were doing the live commentary, and the problem with the live commentary is that it's in an MMO setting. There's a lot of killing and there's not a lot of story going on. And why do people watch these videos? For my character story. You guys love the stories that I come up with and the interaction between all of the other characters that I have in my legacy and stuff like that. And I understand that. But when I did this series, I didn't understand that because I didn't know that's what was going to draw people to it. I thought that was just going to be a little like extra thing that people ended up liking, here and there. But it turns out that's like the major thing people like, which is okay. I love that. I love that you guys, I guess are supportive of my creativity with my characters. So, getting into the spoilers here. I moved on to getting, all the other series the way I do them, simply because they're better. But as far as this character story goes, if you remember correctly, this is actually my favorite story in the game, the Smuggler story. So he had an interesting 3 chapters that he went through, right? So this was kind of the defining moments of this character. He went through chapter 1. And chapter 1 was a lot of the problems with, the story starts out with a ship getting stolen, and he's on Ord Mantell, and stupid what's-his-nut, steals a ship, and he has to go and basically hunt this bastard down. And that's exactly what he does, because he wants revenge. I mean, this guy keeps giving him issues throughout the entirety of chapter 1. He stole a ship. My character steals his ship back, which is really cool, on Coruscant. And then this guy goes and just has all these issues. Ooh, look, guy's coming back from missions. Has all these issues with this guy, I guess, putting roadblocks in his way of kind of making it hard for my character to progress in the world, making people want to kill me. And then also the other thing that he does is, basically, he evades my character so well for the first chapter that my character is just so fed up with him and just wants to kill him. And that's how I was feeling by the end of chapter 1. I was like, dude, I just want to shoot this guy in the face. And that's what I did. So at the end of chapter 1, you kill this guy. It is super satisfying. And then you move into this weird Republic privateer thing going on. So the Republic picks up on the scent of, this captain is a pretty good captain, and we can use people like this for our fight against the Empire, because right now that's kind of what we need. So you end up kind of working together. I say kind of because it's tenuous at best. Working together with this businessman, and I'm not going to give any names just in case you are watching this but don't want any spoilers. This businessman, and then a senator, or someone on the Senate or something like that, and you work together with them, and you think you're doing really huge things for the Republic, and in fact, for the most part, that's what your character really believes, and he's doing it because he's getting paid well. And when it boils down to it, this character really likes the money. He's a smuggler. He's used to doing some illegal things, so when he's getting paid legitimately, and quite a bit of it, legitimately as well, with how big his paychecks were going to be from the Republic, it's cool for him to feel like he's doing something that matters. It's a little out of his ordinary self, which is what that's kind of like the Han Solo in a nutshell, right? It's basically his story, Han Solo in a nutshell. And you end up going through chapter 2, and you get buddy with the senator. In fact, I got buddy, quote unquote, because my main rule with the smuggler, I don't know why Risha is still in this, but she's over here. Let me show you. My main rule with the smuggler is that he, no matter what, always takes a flirt option with the females. And there's Risha right there, too, and it's just still Borkin. I don't know what's the deal with that. By the way, she looks like Van Helsing, and it looks awesome, especially with her crossbow. Gotta love it. So that was kind of the rule that I took with the story, was that I always, no matter what, take the flirt option. Now I have to specify it. I always, no matter what, take the flirt option with females, because now there is same gender romances on Makeb. So in order not to make weird, awkward choices, and my character is a total pimp, so there's only one way he swings as far as which team he plays for, and so for all the female choices, he's going to be taking the flirt option. Doesn't matter if Risha's with him or not. It's just what he does, and he's a player straight up, which is why he has 2 twin daughters. He played Laren, which is his kind of like weird secret romance thing from back in the day. Anyway, so what ends up happening is you get through chapter 2, you're doing great things for the Republic is really thanking you for it, and you get into chapter 3, and then suddenly you realize you haven't really been doing anything for the Republic. You've actually been working for the enemy you've been seeking to destroy, called the Void Wolf, and he's like this massive Imperial guy that you have to take down within the story. And that's what you think you're doing in chapter 2 and 3, but you're not. You're actually working for him, and that's the kind of the big twist in chapter 3. So what ends up happening is you have to go and kind of right your wrongs and take these people out at the end of chapter 3, and that's what you do. So with that, you also find, because we have Risha. Risha was the daughter, which is something you find out in the story as well, of Noctran, who is this crazy guy who has just a ton of riches and stuff hidden away. So Noctran's treasure, and you hook up with her father, not like that, don't you sicko, and you go and find his treasure. So Risha, you and your crew go and find the treasure, and it's awesome because you make a ton of money from it. With all of that, you are able to afford a lot of things. Suddenly you have a ton of money. You, at the end of chapter 3, you've defeated the Void Wolf. You've taken down the thing that you've actually been working for this entire time. And then what ends up happening is the Republic just adores you. They're just like, wow, you've done a very good job. I'm really impressed with what you've done. But that's not the end of his story. So what ends up happening next after chapter 3, there's this interlude period that we've been sitting in. It's limbo, basically. What has my character been up to in that amount of time? Well, first of all, there was a good few month period where him and Richard just took off, and they went and had fun on a few planets. They went to Alderaan for a while. There's some backstory there, if you remember, with Risha. Then my character went to Tatooine and did a little bit of smuggling with her, and then all of my crew basically has been out making money. That's been their job for the past like few months of this character's life, is they've just been making him money. And now he is very wealthy. Not actually, because I, blew all my money on cartel packs. I mean, that's the reality of the situation, but I guess I could put that in the story as well. My character gambled all his money away. So he's kind of in this awkward spot now. He's a little broke. I mean, he has money stashed away, and he's fine with that, but it's not the millions and millions and millions that he wants. I mean, he's got millions, but not millions of millions of millions anymore. So he needs to make all that money back. And the way he's going to do that is he knows the Republic, wants to pay him. They know he's a good soldier. They know that he can get the job done. So he's going to kind of shoehorn the Republic into getting them to do something for him. And the way he does that is he uses Risha to plant kind of some information in the system, saying like, hey, if you ever need, a good captain, you can use me. And then when the story picks up on Makeb, it's just that. It's the Republic calling up being like, hey, we really need you. But what they don't know is the information that was there saying, hey, this captain is available, you remember him, right? That kind of thing was actually planted by Risha, because she does a very good job of that kind of stuff. So where the story picks up is he gets to work for the Republic again on Makeb, and that's where the story starts for chapter 4. So that's to kind of catch you up with what has happened with him, the kind of character he is. He is definitely Han Solo. He's always kind of snarky, and he always flirts with all the females, because that's just what he does. So I think Makeb will be a lot of fun, especially since I'm level 51. I've done a bit of it already, and I kind of know what's coming up, and I think you guys are really going to like it. It's that whole thing where his character just outshines all of the other things that I could do. And the character is written perfectly for how I've already made my character act and feel. And the other thing to be aware of is that Adria, his daughter, that he has no idea is working as a Sith now, is totally on Makeb as well. But he doesn't know that, and she doesn't know that. But they are all both on the same planet, which is strange because they're working against each other without even knowing it. So that's important to note. But aside from that, that's all of the backstory. In the next episode, we'll actually start Makeb, since this was going to take so long for me to go through. But on that note, we shall see you guys next time.